Welcome everyone to Let's Talk Real Estate Investing. In this series, we share experiences, knowledge, and learnings from other real estate investing professionals and experts to empower you to build your personalized real estate investing strategy. If you enjoyed this podcast, I ask that you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. My name is Debbie Balfour, and I'm a real estate investor and a success coach. I coach real estate investors to build their personalized real estate investing strategy and scale efficiently so you can start enjoying financial and time freedom. We're all unique, and our strategy needs to be unique to us. If you've been dreaming of scaling your business or investing in the US while enjoying a seamless first-class experience, then you're in for a treat today. Today, I'm joined by none other than Lauren Cohen, a powerhouse in the world of cross-border investing and immigration. Lauren is a US immigrant from Canada and wears many hats. She's an international lawyer, a serial entrepreneur, a realtor, a cross-border strategist, best-selling author, I'm out of breath, and a global keynote speaker. She's the founder of Investing Across Borders, the only full-service concierge investment and immigration advisory company that simplifies the complex journey of cross-border investing and business expansion and securing US visas. Like if you don't have this help, you're like a deer in the headlights, right? So, we want to go to the experts that will simplify it for us, that will help it make that easy and, take that stress off of us and speed things up. Her signature program is How to Immigrate Through Real Estate. It offers foreign investors a strategic visa-focused roadmap to establishing real estate business in the US with 100% success rate and personalized client-first approach. Lauren ensures her clients experience the easiest and safest ways to achieve their US investment and immigration goals. She was just telling me just before how busy she is. She's on the phone late at night. She's, all sort of hours in order to incorporate all the time zones of all her clients. So let's dive in and learn more about cross-border trailblazing. I can't say the word trailblazing. So
And the thing
before
that keeps me up at night is being a single baseball mom. That
oh my
is my
goodness.
yes.
So Lauren, just kick us off. Help our listeners just get more of a sense of you. Tell us something unusual about you, something you've done or hobbies, anything personal, but not business like.
Sure. So I tried to send you the summary of my bio, and instead it forgot or missed the most important piece, which is that I am from Toronto, and I got my green card in 2007 or 8, 2008, 7, doesn't matter. And in the process of getting my green card, I got married to a Canadian who was living in the US. We went on our honeymoon to Thailand, and on the way back from our honeymoon, he was expeditiously removed, put in immigration jail, and subsequently deported. And if not for that happening, I would not do what I do today, which is why, as you see in the background, I wrote a book called Finding Your Silver Lining in the Business Immigration Process, because through that adversity came everything that I do today. So
That's
when I
awesome.
tell
So
that
you've been
story,
there,
thank you.
you've done it, like you've
I
walked the
did.
path.
I've been through all of it. I've gotten visas and green cards and became a citizen and voted in the last election here. Actually, it was my, I think, fourth election that I voted in. And the next election, this is crazy. My kid is going to get to vote because his birthday is on November 4th and he's just turned 14. And the next US election is November 7th of 2028, and he will be 18. So
Oh,
he's going to
wow.
vote. So there you go.
Well, I think the best coaches, the best experts to work with are those that understand where you're coming from, the frustration you're going through, the path that you're taking, and can really help you simplify it because they've been there
Mhm.
themselves.
Absolutely. I would
So
never choose to work with a coach that hadn't been there and done that. It's like there's a lot of coaches out there that are professing to be experts at scaling your business, and they've never owned a business except for the coaching business. So that's not a great match for me.
that's awesome. Yeah, I agreed. Can you give us a little bit of your background on how you work with international investors?
So, sure, I have been working with people from all over the world for a very long time. I started out as an in-house attorney, and then, as I mentioned, when my ex-husband was deported, I found my way into immigration law. So it's been about 15, 18 years that I've been focused on immigration law and really developed a streamlined process every time that I moved into a new direction. So everything I do is all about streamlining and simplifying the process because there are so many moving parts in the immigration and investing across borders world. And the problem is that too many people, especially Canadians, tend to like go to their friend's lawyer or their friend's advisor or their friend's coach. And it's a very big issue that a lot of American companies, American coaches, coach Canadians, but don't pay any attention to what happens to them in Canada. Doesn't matter to them. They just want to get your money and get you invested in the US, maybe get you a visa, but then what happens? So I was determined that that wasn't going to be my way. And every time that I've built a program, like I did a lot of EB5, which is a green card through investment, and I was coordinating and project managing the whole process. I would manage all the different moving parts. That's kind of my forte. And in this space right now, it's actually because of a gentleman that I met at Little League. My son does play baseball. I am a baseball mom, yes. A gentleman I met who was wearing a Blue Jays cap. So I knew he had to be from Canada because, I'm in South Florida, originally from Toronto. And there aren't many people down here in South Florida wearing Blue Jays
Indian
caps that are not from Canada. They're wearing Yankees caps and Red Sox caps, and I'm not really a fan. So
Mhm.
anyway, we became fast friends, and he said to me, we went for dinner right at the tail end of COVID, and he said to me, my friends don't want to think. They want a streamlined process. They want to know that, like, they have a few extra dollars and they don't want to be piecemealing and saving a few bucks. So I came up with something, and I what called it at the time 10 steps to immigrate, what it would really turn into. It was just something where I said, okay, I'm just going to develop a step-by-step process. And it's actually available on my resources page, which is investingacrossborders.net/resources. So everything we do is about investing across borders, investing across borders. And at the end of the day, we created a streamlined process that then turned into how to immigrate through real estate, which is my signature program. It's 3 phases. We take you through the journey of figuring out what you want to do in the real estate space, how you want to do it, how can you build it into a visa-friendly business, how many entities do you need, how do you set it up. Phase 2 is the business plan, the structure for the visa, developing the visa-friendly business plan that's also ROI friendly, and then phase 3 is the legal. So we take you again through this whole journey. It's a comprehensive journey from start to finish, A to Z. Notice the Z. And you really, I mean, you have to think, but we're going to guide you on your journey. And we're your partner. We're not just doing the legal, we're doing everything for you and with you along the line.
So you're learning and you're implementing and you're doing as you're going, and you know for the next time or whatever that how to do it.
Yes, right, exactly. So the first time that we did this, we took a client in and said, we're going to get you through this journey. Because here's the problem, Debbie. 99.9% of the time, or at least 95, the immigration lawyers will tell you you cannot get a visa through real estate investing. And over time, I was writing business plans when I started, and I did a lot of commercial real estate oriented business plans. And I knew that there had to be a commercial component because, buying a single family house isn't going to work. But then I said, there has to be a way to overcome that challenge and not require people to go buy a pizza shop or something they don't want to do, because people that invest in real estate, as you know, are passionate about real
Real
estate, not
estate.
about
Yeah.
pizza. Okay. So I was
Maybe
like, there's
eating
got
it, but not running a business. Yeah.
exactly. You don't want to run that business. So maybe owning the pizza shop, the building that the pizza
That the
shop is in,
pizza shop
right?
will go in.
Okay. So I was just determined that there had to be a way to turn that on its head and reverse engineer it. And it was a paradigm shift. And I came up with this model. So the real estate is down here and the visa operating business is up here, which means you get the visa not based on the real estate, but based on the business that you're developing that is investing in whatever real estate you're investing in. So
Wow.
it separates the model and it makes it much more tangible. And the government so far, thank goodness, has loved it. I'm 13 for 13 in terms of approvals. And you can really build this out in almost any area of real estate. The only thing that's not going to work is a single family home that you're renting over the long term. But pretty much any other model can work. We have one which is co-living, which is almost like glorified student housing. You can do Section 8, which is affordable housing. There's all kinds of ways to skin the cat. The key is that we go where you are. We take each client where they are. And if they want to do X, we're going to find a way to do X if it's at all possible. We don't take them and say, oh, no, that's not going to work. You have to do this whole thing and create, challenges for yourself. Because at the end of the day, they may get their visa, but then they're going to be unsuccessful and they're going to have to take their family and everything and go packing back to their home country. And that is not what I want. So I had to create a model that met clients where they are, not where we're taking them, and then moving them through the journey together.
I love this. I love that idea because you need to understand your client, you need to understand your client's needs, and then you troubleshoot and you've solved the problem. Number one, I didn't know that there was that rule around you can't get a visa based on real estate investing.
Well, it's not like a rule,
Right.
but here's the challenge. When you invest in real estate, you're not investing in real estate so that you can go out day to day and run a business, are you?
Yeah. No.
You're investing in real estate so you can have passive income, right?
Yeah.
Create a legacy. Well, now you can have passive income, create a legacy, own an asset, and get a visa. But it's because with one or two units, that's not a business. We created a way that with one or two properties, we build a
Can have
business
a
model.
business.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd need 8 or 10 doors or more. And so it becomes cost prohibitive.
Yep.
So every single business we build is custom built for each client. It's not, there's no cookie cutter. The only thing that's pretty much the same for each client is that we have this entity structure. It's called the game changer entity structure, where we have multiple entities that are designed to avoid double taxation and designed to avoid legal liability and designed to achieve visa success. So it took us 6 months to build it. And it's something I'm very, 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 very proud of because it gives people a path to a journey that they want to pursue.
Yeah. Lauren, what are some of the things that without your assistance you find that real estate investors do wrong and get themselves
Oh,
into trouble? Just like the
oh,
top three.
sure. Okay. The most important one is that they get themselves into trouble from taxation perspective because they don't set up the right entities. And so they're potentially subject to double taxation between their home country and the US. They may not be protected from legal liability. That's a very big deal because accountants and lawyers don't always see eye to eye. So they may not set up an entity, they may own it personally, and suddenly there's legal liability. They may they definitely won't have a path to a visa if they don't set up the right structure and don't have the plan in place from the get-go. That's not to say that we can't take an existing owned property and quit claim it into our model, but you have to kind of have a GPS and create that streamlined path as early as possible so that you don't end up buying something that's an outlier to what you're planning to do. So we look at your short-term goals and your long-term goals. Another issue, which it's the last one I'll address, a lot of people look at the short term about getting their E2, which is a non-immigrant 5-year renewable visa. So they're all focused on that visa and they're not focused on what happens after because the visa is step one, really, right? You get
Mhm.
the visa, now the work starts. And not only do you have to build your business, but now you have to figure out how to either renew your visa, go to a different visa, or get a green card. Well, the key with us is it's all about strategy. We focus on two things, flexibility and strategy. You have to be flexible enough to build a strategy and strategic enough to have flexibility, right?
Yeah.
So we incorporate both of those into what we're building with the client because we don't want them to be stifled. So let's say, for example, client comes to me and they're a real estate, a realtor in Vancouver, and they're like, I want to sell real estate in the US. We find a way to incorporate that into their business model so that they can do that as well.
So it's so important to, before you even, when you start thinking, I want to invest in the US, to actually think about how your long term, not just your short term. What
Not
sort of
just your,
strategy
and
you're
too many
doing,
people do
how
that.
long you want to be doing this for, etc., and then build it around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's important for any, for it, it's important when you're building any business. So it's really critical to,
So important.
your business plan should look at where do you want to go instead of very narrow-minded. So,
And that's really important, Debbie, because too many people write very narrow business plans when they're applying for visas. And it's not that we just throw everything in the kitchen sink, but we try to make the business plan broad enough that if they end up shifting gears or adding lines of business, it's not going to complicate things or violate their visa in any way.
yeah, that's great. I think that's the problem with real estate investing. New real estate investors look at real estate investing like they do stocks and don't realize it's a business and you
The
need a
business.
business plan. You need
Yes,
long-term planning. You need to
yes,
think about, not just the first two properties you're going to get, but where do you
correct.
want to take this? So,
Yes, and another thing that tends to happen, and this is a very common issue, especially with Canadians, because for Canadians, you can just drive across the border and you think you can go in and buy a property and that's it, you're done, right?
mhm,
And people will come and say, I don't need a visa. I don't want a visa. I don't want to be in the US. I don't want to move to the US. I don't want to. And by the way, you don't have to move when you get a visa. Just saying. I don't want I don't want to be there. I just want to take advantage of the real estate market.
mhm.
So then you turn that around and you say, okay, well, what if you do? What if there's huge advantages to getting your social security number and building credit?
Like tax
What if your kids
advantages.
can go to school?
Yeah.
What if you can move forward and have an opportunity? This is super, super important to not have issues at the border because the more you go to visit your properties, the more likely it is somebody's going to challenge you.
Yeah. Definitely. They do definitely look at how many times you've gone across and um yeah, that's a very good point. So if you're going back and forth doing business, definitely you'll have that higher
You hear it
definitely
more and
travel.
more as time goes on. Like people, even they have a vacation property. Well, you're going there to work. Well, no, I'm not. Well, we think you are. And guess who has the discretion? Them.
Yeah, yeah. You have to prove your innocence.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So what countries are you seeing the most inbound investors in the US?
So for natural reasons, my investors mostly come from Canada because,
Hmm.
that's one of my three flags back there. Um, but and because I'm Canadian and I speak Canadian and I understand the Canadian mentality, but there's a lot of Brits, a lot of Mexicans and Colombians, and now Israelis that are looking for a place to go to have some peace for a while. Um, so um, there are 84 countries that have a treaty with the US for this visa. And there's always a way, even if you're not from one of those 84 countries. But I tend to focus on the countries, obviously, like, that are most akin to my experience and my approach. So that's but the numbers keep growing. They were down for a while and now they're back up because the election is over and now there's a little, whether you like the election results or not, there's still stability. There's an answer.
Speaking of countries and things like, so is there a difference when getting visas, etc., when you just have your PR card,
Yes, absolutely. If
Canada
you if
versus a
you're so
citizen?
this is a very interesting question because we have a lot of um permanent resident Canadians or like they're waiting on their citizenship. They're
Mhm.
from India. right? Indian Canadians or Indian permanent residents are very common in Canada. India does not have a treaty, so it's best for them. They can start investing, start building their business, start building their plan, but they won't actually apply until they get their Canadian citizenship, because otherwise they have to use a different visa, which is more complicated.
Right. Okay. So, but they can start investing and start building
Absolutely.
that there where
For
they,
sure.
so it's just the visa that's complicated.
Correct.
So you can help people with the how to invest without
Yes.
the visa also.
Correct. Yes, we set up the entities and the structures, and the key is that, again, we're always looking to what might happen in the future instead of limiting it to you just investing today.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you really want to get out there for people to consider before, when it comes to real estate investing and, moving to the US?
So I think that it's really important that everybody understands that you should never try to do this on your own. There are experts that are here to help you, and it's worth spending the money. Obviously, that's a little self-touting, but at the end of the day, if you don't, you're going to end up paying the price later. Additionally, go to cross-border experts if you're in Canada, especially because if you go to an expert that's in the US or an expert that's in Canada that claims to be a cross-border expert but really doesn't have that experience or knowledge or doesn't have those credentials, there's an issue, and this is a very common problem. So be very cautious about who you utilize, and don't be penny wise and pound foolish, because you will end up paying the price to save a few dollars here.
Definitely the opportunity costs,
Hmm.
like the time you're spending trying to figure things out yourself,
Yep,
making those mistakes can be so detrimental. Like it will
absolutely.
cost you more than it will cost to get an expert to guide you. Do
And don't
you,
ask your friend. Don't ask your friend.
unless the
Maybe you
friend,
can and you can
un-
ask your friend for who to speak to, or for a referral, but don't ask your friend, well,
yes.
what did you do? And then just go do it, because your tax situation is different. Your personal situation is different. So everything we do is customized for each client. Don't do a cookie cutter approach. It's not going to work.
This is exactly what I'm always preaching to my clients and everyone. As I said, each one of us are unique. So our strategies and what
Right?
we need will be unique. The amount of money we have, the amount of time we have, like our
Hmm.
nationalities, like all these different things. When it comes to the cross border, we'll take into and will need to be taken into account. So definitely that's. Lauren, you mentioned about your resources page. Can you tell a little bit more about what people can find on there that are freebies that can get them started?
Sure, there are several freebies available on our resources page, such as the 10 steps to immigrate through real estate, a slide that outlines all of the different visas and what the requirements are. It's a quick little slide that shows like little bullets about the minimum requirements. There's about 6 or 8 resources on there. We also have a master class. Our next one is actually on Thursday. This won't be published in time, but our regular recurring master classes are investingacrossborders.net/masterclass. Everything we do is branded around investing across borders. So if you have, it's always investingacrossborders.net/something. So /resources, /masterclass, /green card, /whatever it is. And they're all there for you to benefit from and learn from. You can grab a copy of my book on Amazon. I think it's like $15 Canadian. And that's a great resource, a really great resource as well. And I mean, reach out if you have questions. We can set up a consultation, a strategy call. We are developing a deep dive GPS program where we're going to take our clients that aren't quite ready to bite the bullet just through a deep dive analysis of creating a roadmap for them of what they should do, so that if they want to do it on their own, they can, but they shouldn't.
This is a personal question. It was actually for my son, who is a content creator and influencer, right?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Would you be able to help someone like him?
Yes, I can help anybody get Unless they're in the cannabis space, which unfortunately is not legalized throughout America. And so as a result, anything that's not legal, no. But anything that's legal, yes, we can help anybody that has a viable business that's going to make a substantial investment and hire people in the US, whether it's an online business, an offline business, or a real estate business. We've been doing this a very long time. The real estate kind of I guess the real estate specialization only started about 2.5 years ago.
Excellent. So although your niche is saying real estate, you can help other people with other businesses that
Absolutely.
looking to do cross-border.
Yeah, we have our Invest to Immigrate program, which is available for anybody in any business. I have a client right now who set up a car shop in the US, and now we're about to get them a visa. We just did one last week for a flooring company. So yep, it's plug and play in terms of like the type of business. It's not plug and play in terms of the advice you're going to get.
Right. It's personalized to your circumstances. Lovely.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I know you
Thank
have
you.
had a really, really busy day and week, and thank you for
Thank you.
taking the time to join
Of
me
course.
and
Thank you,
sharing
Debbie. It
all
was a
of your
pleasure.
knowledge and your expertise with
Thank
our listeners. And I'd love to have you back another time, and maybe we can deep
For
dive
sure.
into a particular topic there. So
Absolutely.
thanks so much.
Anytime. My pleasure. Thank you so much. Take care.
You have a wonderful day.